This is your WGBW Daily News Roundup for the Talk of Green Bay, 97.9 FM and 1590 AM.
Civic Media News. I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. Student protesters are meeting with University of Wisconsin-Madison Chancellor Jennifer Mnuchin today. That's after police and campus leaders promised to take no action against pro-Palestinian protesters for 24 hours. 34 people were arrested on Wednesday over tents the demonstrators put up on campus. President Biden returns to Wisconsin next week. He'll talk about his economic policies in Racine on Wednesday. It will be Biden's 8th visit to Wisconsin since the midterm elections. Donald Trump was in Wisconsin this week. Polls show the race for Wisconsin's votes a virtual tie. Workers in Wisconsin say the government needs to fully fund Social Security. Jessica LaPointe is a union leader in Green Bay. She says chronic underfunding means slow service.
Service delays are far and wide, and it could take, more than 4 months to start your retirement benefits up.
As part of May Day commemorations this week, unions are calling on Congress to find long-term funding solutions. Northland College in Ashland says it plans to stay open. President Chad Dayton says he and the Board of Trustees have come up with a plan to keep the struggling small college open. Dayton says Northland could be financially viable again by fiscal year 2027. A conservative legal group is suing for easier access to information about Wisconsin voters. Copies of the voter registration list are legally available from the Wisconsin Elections Commission, but fees can run higher than $12,000. The Public Interest Legal Foundation says other states offer their voter lists for much less. Wisconsin's newest sports betting venue opens today. Sean Cullen runs the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino Sportsbook in Milwaukee. He tells WISN TV's Upfront he'd back legalizing sports betting statewide.
I would hope so, and we would hope so, but at the end of the day, that's up to the state. But, we're obviously supportive of that.
The Forest County Potawatomi signed an amended compact with the state 2 years ago that allows sports betting on tribal property. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Students at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay held a demonstration on campus Wednesday in support of Palestinian children. The event was organized by UWGB's chapter of Students for a Democratic Society. They spent over 3 hours reading off hundreds of names of the more than 13,000 children killed during the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza since October 7th. It was the first pro-Palestinian rally held on the Green Bay campus this year. Brown County District Attorney has ruled that Officer Dan Scanandor was justified in a shooting in February and will not face criminal charges. Steve Ventura died after shooting himself following an altercation with Scanandor during a traffic stop. Green Bay Police Chief Chris Davis says due to the incident, the department will go through an administrative review to look at policy compliance and anything that they can learn from the tragic situation. A 16-year-old is hospitalized and an 18-year-old arrested following a shooting Wednesday night in the Brown County town of Pittsfield. A press release from the sheriff's office said they were called to a home at about 9:40 p.m. Officers approached the address in an armored vehicle. The 16-year-old victim had non-life-threatening injuries. Officials said the situation was an isolated incident and presented no threat to the public. The opening day of Bay Beach Amusement Park can be considered the unofficial start of summer. The Green Bay attraction is opening for Saturdays and Sundays tomorrow. It'll begin operating 7 days a week starting May 22nd. Officials have announced a slight increase in the cost for some of the rides, such as the Zip and Pippin roller coaster. A new inclusive playground won't be ready on opening day, but Bay Beach officials say it will open sometime this summer. De Pere's $100 million Mulva Cultural Center opened in December of 2023. Mayor Jim Boyd says it will bring a lot to the city.
It's a cultural center, so not a museum. It's a place that just will bring events and exhibits from all over the world for stuff that we've never experienced in this area.
A new restaurant, Savor on Broadway, has just opened at the Mulva Center. It also has an IMAX film screen, and the current exhibit that runs through May is Dino Safari. The public is being asked to keep an eye out for people who may be casing jewelry stores following a burglary in the town of Algoma on Wednesday. Over $100,000 in cash and valuables were taken from the home. The Winnebago County Sheriff's investigators say a criminal network is operating throughout the U.S. They're targeting Asian jewelry store owners, following them from work to their homes, and then later stealing jewelry, cash, and designer purses. Similar crimes have been reported in Nebraska and in Massachusetts. Governor Tony Evers is taking applications for Sheboygan County Sheriff. Applications can be found on the governor's website. Sheboygan County Sheriff Corey Ressler announced his retirement this week. His last day will be June 3rd. The deadline to apply for the position is the end of business day, May 15th. The new sheriff will serve out a term that expires in 2027. And that's what you need to know. I'm Lisa Hale, WGBW News.
The Bucs season comes to an end. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucs losing to the Pacers 120-98 despite injuries to his knee and Achilles. Damian Lillard scored 28 points in 35 minutes of play. Head coach Doc Rivers.
It was tough because you want him on the floor, but you also knew that it may take a minute, and in a playoff game 6, you probably don't have that minute. And I just love the fact that he knew he wasn't 100%. There's a lot of players that wouldn't have played, so just more respect for Dame coming from me. But the fact that he just wanted to be out there with his guys is pretty cool.
The Bucs finished the regular season with a record of 49-33, 2-4 in the postseason. Damian Lillard.
You play an entire 82-game season. You go through training camp. You go through all the ups and downs of a NBA regular season, and you get to the point where, all right, now we're going to play for everything, and you're not whole. You know, you don't have the best opportunity to reach where you want to reach. So it's frustrating, it's disappointing, but, it's part of the game.
Chris Middleton playing on sprained ankles on not making it out of the first round of the playoffs again.
It just sucks. Give it your all and don't win. It sucks. Simple as that. I mean, losing sucks. End of your season sucks. It's part of it. You move on. That's all.
Pat Beverly, traded to Milwaukee in February, is not sure where he'll be next season.
I'm excited to see what new home I'm at. If I'm here, if I'm wherever. Obviously, we don't know what the future may hold, but losing first round, I'm not the excuse type of guy, so I felt like we really should have won the series, but we came up short.
Baseball, the Brewers in Chicago against the Cubs, and manager Craig Counsell this weekend. NFL, the Packers' 2-day rookie minicamp is underway. 11 new draft picks and around another 20 undrafted players at practice in Green Bay. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Comedian Drake Sather once said, "I can see marrying a woman and having a couple of kids, but a tattoo? That's so permanent." 20-year-old Grace Fleming of Colorado found that out the hard way. Grace liked the Olivia Rodrigo song Hope You're Okay so much she had some of the lyrics tattooed to her arm. What she meant to have written was, "Address the letters to the holes in my butterfly wings." But the tattoo artist left out the fly in butterflies, so written on her arm is, "Address the letters to the holes in my butter wings." Neither of those makes sense, Grace. Fans of Blue Bloods have had a nice run, but the show will be coming to an end in December of this year. Deadline.com reports Tom Selleck has warned the producers that people might not be ready to say goodbye, and I'm sure he did so in the most measured, borderline dull, unexciting way possible. Just kidding. Love the Selleckster, and 14 years is a pretty good run. The network says they are looking for new ideas. Translation? Be prepared for something other than Blue Bloods that is exactly like Blue Bloods to premiere next fall. In Sex and the City spinoff news, Rosie O'Donnell will join the cast of And Just Like That for season 3. The New York Post reports that O'Donnell will play a new character named Mary in at least one episode. Actors Karen Pittman and Sarah Ramirez were written off the show following season 2. New episodes for season 3 will be available to stream in 2025. The New York Post reports that people are calling out an offensive joke in The Fall Guy. During the film, one of the characters walks into a messy trailer and says, "Looks like Johnny and Amber were here," referring to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Hard to believe, but people on social media work themselves into a lather over a single joke about two people they've never met who aired all their dirty laundry, which included toxic verbal and physical abuse during a public trial. But make fun of a crazy couple's tidiness, you'll get posterized. I didn't find the joke offensive, but if that's the scene that sticks out in the movie, I am in less of a hurry to see The Fall Guy, which opens May 3rd. Potential blockbusters opening at the box office this weekend include The Fall Guy starring Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling as Colt Seavers. Movie history will be made as this is the first time someone named after a baby goose in real life is named after a fictitious young horse. The Fall Guy is pulling an 84 on Rotten Tomatoes. Also opening is the film Unfrosted, written, directed, and starring Jerry Seinfeld, which tackles the issue of cereal wars and the creation of the Pop-Tart in 1963 Michigan. The film has not been made available for review yet, which is never a good sign, but fingers crossed. Rom-com fans might want to check out The Idea of You, starring Anne Hathaway, which is also reviewing very well. And finally, sometimes we see a movie so long ago, we're just not sure if it actually sucked or if we were just young and jaded. In a related story, check out the re-release of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which opens in selected theaters. The film hasn't gotten any better, but maybe you're more forgiving now or just need a Star Wars fix. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 7 to 9 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Sunny and pleasant today. We'll get to around 74 for a high this afternoon with wind out of the west at 5 to 15. Tonight, clear, 46 tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, some afternoon showers. 72 will be the high by Sunday. Sunshine with a high near 70. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 53.
That's your WGBW Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WGBW.FM.